So on Wednesday, January 6th, Wilkinsburg Borough Council, or 6 of the 9 Wilkinsburg Borough Council members, voted to censure me, stating that I was derelict in my duties and misleading the public about my role or my statutory duties as mayor. And so that happened at their first council session last Wednesday. And to me, I should say the action itself wasn't that surprising coming from this council. It's a laundry list of the many different things that they've done to, basically anything that's for growth here in Wilkinsburg, they're against. And so a lot of people have asked, what exactly does that censure mean? And so basically it's just that. It's a public disapproval of that person's duties or handling of their job duties. And for most people in Wilkinsburg, they understand and know that, council does not like me or the work that I do. So that really wasn't a surprise. More so what the surprise is that this would be their first action or, one of the first things they want to set the tone for 2021, especially within Wilkinsburg, where we've undergone, so much of a shift, and it's been, a rough past year and a half for the community. So really should have been focused more on bridging that gap. Now, that really, what does the censure change? It changes absolutely nothing. It doesn't mean that I stop being mayor. It doesn't mean that I can't say anything, that I still can't be present for my community. It really is just that of an empty gesture from council stating that they don't like what I do. So if you didn't know that, now you know. Now, why do I think that, they went ahead and did the censure? There's a few different reasons that, for them to do this or take this empty action. The first thing is because I've been very, very vocal about my concerns for the borough, for the direction of Wilkinsburg under this council leadership. Anyone who knows me, I'm going to tell you the real. I'm going to tell you the good, I'm going to tell you the bad, and I'm going to tell you the real of what's going on. So, over the past year, I've let residents know, I've let our community members, know where the borough is on these things, when our departments have become understaffed. So there's been understaffing in code where we have high number of vacant and blighted properties, and, it continues to double and triple. I believe the breaking point of when I was telling the community of what's going on was that of the defunding of the library last month, which did happen at that council meeting. Many residents still can't believe that, something so beloved like our Wilkinsburg Public Library that has done so much for this community and has, not only our youth, but adults engaged in their programs and really has come through as a shining light throughout the past year and during this pandemic, that they would be defunded was beyond them. The other thing is council states because I don't come to their meetings that somehow I'm not fulfilling my mayoral duties. Council meetings are that. Council meetings. I do not have a vote. I do not have a final say in what they vote to do. What I have is influence. And so in the first 2 years of my mayoral term, I did attend council meetings, but it was made very clear to me by majority of those council members that they could care less about what I had to say or anything about my input or anything I wanted to share. So then it becomes, should I continue to, spend these hours sitting here in their meetings where I have no vote, or use that time elsewhere that I could better direct to have a more positive impact in my community. Lastly, the other reason for the censure, I believe on their end, is because I've been very also vocal about merging with the city of Pittsburgh and how the benefits of exploring that as an option, but also going over the benefits of what that could mean for our residents. And a few of those things are just an immediate, decrease in taxes, increased capacity of services, all those things that, kind of add to, making Wilkinsburg a thriving community, and more people would feel the ability to be able to be a homeowner here. with our tax burden so high, we're almost getting double penalized for, being an economically distressed community and having these high taxes. So I'm proud of the work overall that, has happened in Wilkinsburg to get us to these points, yet there's only so much more we can do. And we have Wilkinsburg, we're an urban area, but we're on a small suburban budget, and it's not cutting it anymore. So as mayor of a borough, my role is that I oversee the police and fire departments. Our fire department is contracted with the city of Pittsburgh, so in this case, I oversee the police department. And that role is more, that's something designated by the PA Borough Code, but obviously the role of mayor is so much more than that. But specifically speaking to the police department, overseeing the police department, and the chief of police oversees the day-to-day operations and administration of said police officers. The issue, or where the disconnect is that I don't oversee our budget or approve final decisions made on our budget. That's what our borough council does. So when there's things such as advocating for body cams, which I've been doing since as mayor, and asking for that to be put in the budget, to which has been previously denied, that's where the issues come, is that I oversee this department, but yet I don't have the final say and improving how our department operates. And that's where much of the disconnect comes from when people ask about, why isn't the department doing this, or why isn't it doing this? And, there's some things that we can do within our own, but running police departments is not inexpensive. So some of those budgetary items to really help take us to the next level and have extra level of security to ultimately, protect and serve our community to the best, that comes down to borough council. Additionally, all personnel decisions and departments are overseen by borough council as well too. So it's interesting with the borough form of government, it's something called, or certain boroughs, but it's called weak mayor, strong council. And that's because mayors, although we do have, the power or perceived power and influence, we don't have that final legislative vote to actually enact it into policy or something within our borough budget. So what I do is I use my platform and advocate to the fullest of my abilities, circumventing that council to try to bring what other resources and information that I can into Wilkinsburg. The difference when I was on borough council to now's borough council, or to this present borough council, is that we put Wilkinsburg first. It wasn't about allegiances or staying friends with our fellow council members. It was about what was really the best for Wilkinsburg. And more often than not, most of our votes were unanimous. Not just because we all blindly agreed, but we really got down to the root and looked at resources, grant funding, policy, ordinances that really would make a positive impact and better Wilkinsburg. So you didn't have just that, we're just going to censure the mayor, or, those types of different things. It was really about serving the people of Wilkinsburg to the fullest. Whereas now with this present council, and specifically with 3 of the members who between them have 56 years of service on council, it's about how can they keep their power? How can they keep the semblance and control over the 2.2 square miles of Wilkinsburg and the 16,000 people? Unfortunately, what we're seeing now with this council is a continuation of the stagnation that has plagued Wilkinsburg over these past few decades with this council leadership. And so much so that, one of the reasons I always say I'm just, not surprised, always saddened by their actions, but not surprised, is because back in 2010, they sued a then council person for starting the Wilkinsburg Community Development Corporation, which we know has done great work in this community. And they've even tried to disrupt some of the programs that I've done with Civically. So I don't see if you're putting Wilkinsburg center in your focus, how saying, oh, because the mayor doesn't come to our council meetings, we must publicly censure her. The question should be, how are we going to give back the funding to the library, or where are those funds being reallocated to? How can we address some of the understaffing in our departments? How can we get back to full capacity? Additionally, we have a duty to serve the people of Wilkinsburg. Yes, we're elected officials, but we're also public servants. So one of those things is we have to explore all options, whether you like it or not, of what is best for Wilkinsburg. And that also has to include looking at potential merger and consolidation with the city of Pittsburgh. Ultimately, Wilkinsburg voters decide on that. That's a referendum ballot. So it's not just, something council can or can't say we're going to merge with the city of Pittsburgh. That's something still Wilkinsburg voters decide about, but it would behoove them to also learn more about the pros and cons so you can present the full information to the residents, as I have been doing. So that's why moving forward, it's important for me, and what I'm dedicated to do is to find those progressive candidates who are dedicated and committed to doing the work to actually move Wilkinsburg forward. We have 5 council seats up. We have my seat up. We have school board seats up. And again, local elections are so important. Every election is important. Local elections, I say, have the most impact. So getting people in so that we can stop the stagnation that has severely hindered Wilkinsburg's growth. We deserve that. Wilkinsburg deserves that from all of its elected officials. There's a misconception that all mayors are the same and we all get paid the same. So a lot of people think that, I have the same amenities as, say, Mayor Peduto or the city of Pittsburgh by having a staff and having full-time pay. And I don't. The effort of being Wilkinsburg mayor is still, definitely full-time, yet the pay isn't that. And I never ran for council or mayor for the pay, knowing what it was. Yet after 8 years of elected service, at this point in time, it's best for me to use my energy and capacity to focus on being president of Civically Inc. and continuing many of the programs that I've been doing within the community, and many of which most of you are familiar with. But that doesn't mean that, my dedication and service to Wilkinsburg ceases when I'm not mayor. I will still, continue on, still have that dedication. It's just a title. It's just that. It's a title. So although no longer be mayor, but still be a public advocate for the borough of Wilkinsburg. But with that said, being that this is my last year of serving as mayor, I will continue to be vocal and advocate for many of the things that I've been advocating in. So continuing to work with proactive agencies in reducing community gun violence, and also looking at partnering more with social service agencies, specifically social workers and mental health professionals for our police department. When we're talking about reallocation or reimagining public safety, it's really important that, the discussions of mental health and social work go alongside of that with our police department. So looking to expand such programming as that, so that when we are responding to calls or when we are responding to concerns within our community, that we have, that capacity and also that perspective of a mental health professional, so that it is, we're responding to the most efficient way that really results in the best for our community members. So this is in no way, me not seeking re-election is no way the end. It's actually the beginning of something that will be even more beautiful.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so I can bring you more videos on subjects like this and many other topics. Please leave any comments in the comment section. Any questions or comments, I'll get back to them as soon as I possibly can. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.